So this is just amazing. Traffic is really light. I've rarely come to Toronto with this little traffic. It's fantastic. Check out the weird buildings here. Holy cow, is that ever weird? Hi everyone, we have arrived at Connor's place and we're going to start the tour. So here we go.
Everyone, nice to see you.
I think we'll start with this watering system, which is really cool.
Cool, so this is the main collection site. So I have the same kind of IBC that Nigel has. So I can fill my buckets down here with the two-way diverter.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
So I could like empty it from here, but I normally collect from here.
Yeah.
And then just with like a flex pipe goes right into the... I'm a big fan of the Haws cans too.
Okay.
And it's great. This is my bigger one. I have a smaller one.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, so I can do this if I just want to water by hand.
Yeah.
Or what I normally do is I'll use a sub pump.
Yeah.
That goes into the top, and it's connected to my my hose system here.
Hose system.
So we'll get that hooked up, and then I'll show you guys it all running.
Awesome, thanks, Connor.
So I just have like a nylon filter saver, so it's just like a nylon pantyhose that goes on the bottom of the sump pump, and that keeps most of the stuff off. And there's a little, you probably can't see it, but there's something in there that just rests on top, so it's not directly on the bottom.
I see.
So this just goes in.
Because all the stuff settles on the bottom, doesn't it?
I don't know, some people put fish in them.
Okay,
I was thinking maybe about doing that, but...
Sacrificial fish?
Yeah, they keep all the mosquitoes out.
Yeah.
So then this just gets quick connect onto my hose, and then so I can switch from rain to city water.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, so we'll get this fired up.
Okay.
We'll plug it in, and here we go.
It's in and running. So over to the wand over here. Oh, look at that, rainwater.
Yeah, this is a little smaller wand. Yeah. So if I use the bigger ones, I have to switch to city pressure, so we'll show you after. But then I can just reel it out, walk down the benches, and give everything nice good watering.
That is awesome, eh? Just to be able to use rainwater
so
instead
it's pretty fine and on demand.
Yeah. Very cool, Connor.
So I'll show you guys the other ones, and then we can go to the bench tour.
Okay.
So here we're at the faucet. So I have a digital timer, so I can set this up to sprinkler. So when I go away on vacation, I can auto water with a sprinkler system.
Okay.
And I have more diverters here, but basically one goes to the rain barrel at the front, and then the other one goes to the hose, so that the quick connect. So I just saw you. So turn it on, and then we can show you the other wands.
Okay.
So this is the I have a couple bigger wands. So this one's from Haws, I really like, and then this one's a Dram. So this is Canadian made, and that's from the UK. Okay. But this nozzle has a really fine spray.
Oh, nice.
So you can feel it's super soft.
Yeah.
So it's probably my favorite, but it requires a lot of flow. So I can only use it on city water, basically.
I see.
Yeah, so I'll show you the Haws one, and then we'll get to the trees.
Okay.
So this is the Haws one. So it's a little wider, and not as fine, but it's really nice too, and all brass.
Oh, nice.
And it's got like an old school switch on it, so it's just this tumbler.
Oh, yeah.
And you just leave it on, or leave it off.
Cool, so you don't have to squeeze it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That must be nice.
Old school technology, but it works really well.
Yeah.
And just covers them a lot wider than the other ones.
Yeah. Well, I bet the trees like that. Cool them down on a hot day.
Yeah, yeah. So once we're done, I can just bring it back over here to the reel.
Okay.
And reel everything back up, and then it folds back into the wall.
Handle there, you can turn it in.
Watch out, yeah.
There we go.
And then folds back.
It folds back. Look at that.
And done.
Wow, that's
keeps the backyard clean.
That's really cool, Connor.
Awesome. So I just have some accent grasses. This is a dwarf bamboo that I've been meaning to bonsai, but I haven't got to it.
Okay.
And then behind are some of my bigger conifers that are on their way into bonsai pots. So some of them you've seen probably last year, but this is a new one. This is a black pine, red pine combo, or splice, I guess. And it has like an upright, tight, more of like a Japanese black pine foliage, where the other one down here is the same kind of cross, but with a more weeping and a soft foliage, so it has more of like the Japanese red pine foliage. They're from the same spot, and we're working on them in the Toronto club as a group demo over like multiple years.
Yeah.
So the first year we repotted them, and this year we got Jonas Dupree's opinions and next time. So we're just waiting for the buds to come up, and then we're going to do another workshop probably next year.
So are they in bonsai soil now? Or?
Yeah, so the majority of them are in bonsai soil. There's some still local material close up to the front.
Yeah.
So once they're fully in bonsai soil, then we're going to start working the top. So we only did about half.
Yeah, it's sort
half
of
the root ball.
Slow transition to the bonsai. Yeah.
And I didn't really change the container size much. I just so they're still in quite large baskets.
Yeah, with lots of aeration there. Eh?
Yeah, and the pines love the air, so they don't. These guys only get watered maybe like once a week or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they stay pretty dry, and like the air pruning from the baskets really help the pines.
Yeah, so you get a nice root system. Eh?
Mm-hmm. Going back here, this is a Colorado spruce.
Yeah.
So it's from just like a Chinese market in the GTA. And it was old and not looking too good, and they're like, oh, don't you want another one? And then they're like, that one looks kind of crappy, and it was like dying back, and I guess it was older, it had like the bark, they didn't think it was good, but no, I was like, I wanted this one. Yeah. And I got it for a good price, but
it looks healthy now. If you compare the needles, the older needles to the new ones.
Yeah, so this is, Nigel's 100% right there. That's a good sign. So I'm going to prune this in the fall to encourage back budding.
I see.
So I did an experiment with this, and they tell you you're not supposed to remove all of the buds of spruce. Like, they don't really,
it's
risky.
Yeah.
But I did that one year for lack of knowledge.
You can see a lot of back buds in here.
Yeah, so it almost took 1 year of recovery to push the new flush.
Yeah.
But it did push a new flush of buds, and it did very strong.
Yeah.
So that was a couple years back. So now I'm going to kind of repeat that process.
Yeah, because it worked, and yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So this is I can rotate a little bit. This is the front of the tree.
Okay.
With my marker.
Oh yeah, right here.
So this branch will probably come off. It's a little thick and low.
I see.
And same with I'm basically trying to replace all of the big foliage with smaller pieces.
Yeah. A gradual transition, eh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Colorado spruce is really interesting because you can really see the difference between the new foliage and the old foliage. So you can see, like, look at this branch. This is not a healthy branch compared to this branch, which is very vigorous.
New growth.
And you can just see countless buds all the way up it.
Well, it reminds me a lot of those Douglas firs I have. They're very similar.
Actually, this one's putting out, look at these weird buds on the bottom too.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting this branch out, but
no, it might come back, eh?
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure these are all second or third year's needles, so I should probably come in here and remove these.
Falling off, eh? Yeah.
I throw some back on the top because it keeps it a little lower on the pH side.
Like a mulch level, a layer.
Yeah, just slightly.
Very cool. And this is a little ficus down here?
Yeah, a little willow ficus. So it just got pruned, so it's coming back.
So you totally took the leaves off, like defoliated?
Yeah, it was a hard prune actually. You can see them spots right here.
Wow.
But this is its second or third hard pruning, so here you can see the first wound coming. And I practiced that kind of very basic trunk chop, develop 2 leaders.
Yeah.
Cut one back as your first branch, let the other one grow. Do it again, trunk chop.
One becomes a branch,
the other is
a leader. Very good. It's working, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is, oh, I don't know, maybe this. This is the front.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of those pretty big wounds here, and a nice back branch here.
All those wounds will heal over really quickly.
Yeah.
That's nice. So it'll be, you're trying to keep it small, isn't it?
I'm trying to keep it around this size, and its base is pretty fat already.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so it's I more to keep most of my tropicals on the back bench, but after they get a haircut, they come and get more sunlight.
Yeah.
So here's another one.
This is that Barbados cherry, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I took care of a long time ago.
Yeah, it was much different before that.
This is like an exposed root cascade style.
Yeah, here, so we'll bring it out to the...
Look at that, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's, I'm cheating a little bit here. It's not at the angle that I really want yet, so I need to wait longer for these roots to harden off.
I see.
But this is probably the last step, is once I'm just gonna remove this and then let it all the rocks naturally fall out with rain, and then that will expose it more.
Yeah.
But you're basically doing the same thing. You're trying to mimic a fat trunk, so it should get smaller and then wider.
Right.
And you do that by just splaying the roots out, so it gets that illusion of thickness, basically.
Yeah, it gives some mass there. And
yeah. And you see this a lot in azaleas, because the azaleas are very slow growing.
I see.
So they try to, it's cheating kind of. You're trying to get a thick trunk.
Yeah.
But it's a different style, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah, it gives you the pressure, the visual weight there, and yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, so it's coming along, and I pretty much grew all the fine branching.
And beautiful bark forming on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and you can see it's starting to come down on the roots. So like up here is really nice and thick, and then this one is.
Yeah.
Because as you expose them, they take a little while to age up.
That's cool.
And then there's a little surface root there.
Awesome. This is an adenium, right?
Yeah.
Desert rose.
So I think it's just, I don't know like, the exact variety. It puts out kind of like the generic red flower.
Okay. Have you had it flower?
This one's flowered once or twice, yeah.
And is that in one of Wayne's pots? Or?
No, I think this is Eldon's pot, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, see? Eldon.
Oh yeah, Eldon Lease.
Yeah, but this is just, this is one of my favorite. I didn't know he made this kind of style of pots, but I think this is one of the greater ones that he's made.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, maybe from a sale or something, or that other sale in Guelph, the same one you mentioned, that may be there.
He made some fantastic pots, didn't he?
Yeah. This one's great. I have another one that I have. It's a planter. It's an ivy. I'll show you guys.
Okay.
But I was styling this to look like the baobab tree from the Lion King, Rafiki's tree.
Yeah.
And I think I asked you guys this in the rest of the KW club when I kind of first started, because I wanted to mimic that. I'm a big fan of the Lion King when I was a kid and stuff. But that's a kind of like an iconic tree to myself, and it's a baobab, an African baobab, and it has that thick bulbous trunk, and then there's some inverse taper near the bottom. It kind of looks like an egg. Yeah. And then it has like a really dense canopy, really tight. So I was looking for a species to kind of mimic that. Yeah. And I'm trying the adenium. So you can see I basically just trunk chopped it.
Yeah, at the top there.
Yeah, and then all these came out. And one of them is going to be the leader, and then I'm going to cut them back again. And that will accentuate the bulbousness. But I think it's coming along. It kind of does look like that, eh?
It does, yeah. And you see a lot of baobabs that are kind of bulbous.
Yeah.
They're not tapered from bottom to top.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Almost like a bottle or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of very variety of types of baobabs and growing habits and stuff. Like the ones on your recent video, the more African plain ones, they're thick but also upright. But the Madagascar ones are different shape. Yeah, and then you see those really tall ones that are like barrels that have no taper. Yep. Like next to those, there's like an iconic street, and then there's a row of really tall
avenue
baobabs.
Of baobabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Trees are cool.
Yeah, so this is a big, I'm not exactly sure what kind of junipers. I think it's just some sort of Japanese garden juniper. You can see it's the variety that has two types of foliage. So this is the juvenile needle-like foliage. Okay. And then right here. Yeah. And then here's the more mature scale foliage. Wow. Quite a difference, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So this one is the preferred one because it's finer. Yeah. And it's the more mature one, so it produces the finer one in times of stress. Yeah. Basically. So this I got from a garden center in the GTA. It was in their compost pile. Wow. And it wasn't doing too well. Yeah. And immediately when I saw it, I knew exactly what was wrong with it. Because it was planted in sand, basically, like very hard clay. So when a mature juniper really needs a lot of free-flowing soil. So it was in like a sandy soil that held a lot of water. Yeah, and not much air either. Yeah, no air. So it wasn't doing very well. So immediately when I got it is I bare rooted it. Okay. And put it in a free-flowing bonsai soil, mostly pumice. And put it in a wood box. And since then it is on its way to recovery. Yeah. All the branches have started to regrown. It put out, that was a major stressor for it. Here's the mature foliage here, eh? Yeah, and then this is like the rocket branches. Oh yeah, so that's shows it's really healthy, eh? You got berries forming. Yeah, so it's doing good. And it's not a blowy, I don't know, but you'll see from a lot of my conifers are really blue right now. Right. So some people have told me that's really good. From a lot of water, a lot of fertilizer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going really strong, and I found the front over here. So Nigel may have to come in here.
Okay.
Pop a squat and come low, but you can see right around here. There's a really nice branch, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little more to the left.
Or maybe.
Yeah, because this would be, I think, the most of the branches I think are going to be on this one.
Yeah.
And the main canopy and apex right here, and there's a really nice snaky movement. That looks like you would have to wire that to get it in there, but it's just grown naturally.
That's how it grew, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. That's wonderful. It's going to be an impressive tree in the future.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just got to get it out of the big ugly box.
Well, yeah. That'll come someday, won't it?
So this, I think, is probably my best or my favorite tree right now, for sure. It's a Shimpaku Juniper that I got from a club member in the Ottawa club. So when he had it, it was very pom-pommy. Maybe I can send Nigel some photos so you can see it before and after. But I basically wired it and pruned it and made it into a formal kind of upright style. And you see, it's a Shimpaku. It's not a Blowie again. So it's not supposed to be this blue, but
I see. I think because we had such a sunny summer.
Yeah,
right?
That and a lot of rain. But it's doing really strong. So I was just speaking to Nigel before. Is like when I first trained this, all of the pads were very flat, very two-dimensional, all on a plane. Yeah. And over about a year and a half, they started to fill out and become very cloudy and pom-pommy. Yeah. And I think it's looking really good right now. Yeah. It's just on that barrier of maybe being a little overgrown, in my opinion. But it's doing really well. I think the next thing I want to do is I kind of need to bring this branch down a little bit. So if you see the right view, it's kind of missing something right here. Right. And this is a little wide.
Because these branches are all low, eh?
Yeah. So I think if I bring this down and in a little bit, just to about maybe right here, yeah, it'll improve. But you guys can see it's a pretty thick branch. I have a guy wire on it, and this branch took a lot of copper.
So you just pull it down slowly. Yeah. Over the years.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Some of the front ones are, but you guys can kind of see here. Like, so this is where I made my chop, and a lot of people say these junipers won't back bud, but you can see here, and up in the canopy. Basically, if you work a strong tree, it will repay you with good buds. But if you did this to a weak tree,
people also say you can't bare root a juniper.
Yeah.
Look, there's living proof that you can on your other tree, right? Well, that's awesome. That is a beautiful tree, Connor. Mm-hmm. So dense the foliage.
Yeah, it's growing really great.
And what's the one beside it here?
I think someone's going to correct me, and I just want to thank all the viewers for the last tour. You guys actually ID'd a lot of my trees for me, so that was a big help. I really appreciate it. I think this is a Nippon daisy.
Okay, it looks like a daisy leaf, doesn't it? That's really cool.
So it's a very advantageous back butter as well. This was just recently pruned. It's going to stay low, but it's a late summer flower. But I pruned it a lot, so I may not get flowers this year. Okay. But I just kind of experimenting with it to find out. Yeah, it's kind of a nice clump style. There's multiple trunks going on. There's some deadwood in it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks ancient, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I've never seen this. This is a mica pot, but it's this weird blue color.
I've never seen that either. That is cool. Huh.
Yeah, so it's
the first time I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Strange, eh? I can pull the Wisteria up, maybe just see it on. So this is a Wisteria I recently got from a club member, Robert. He was selling some of his trees, and I'll show you guys his other ones. But he started this from a root cutting from his Wisteria plant. So it's a multi-trunk, or at least that's how I'm going to grow it. So I did a pretty hard prune when I got it to kind of set the structure. Yeah. And you can see there's a bunch of new growth coming in. Yeah. So this branch died back, but you can always regrow things, and it's very vigorous.
A little strange looking branch anyway. So.
Yeah.
How long have you had this one, Connor?
Just this summer.
Okay, so it's a new tree for you.
Yeah. So The Wisterias, obviously, we grow them for the flowers.
Yeah.
You're not going to show this in a fall show ever. But they grow very whippy.
Yeah, you can see
it's a vine.
New growth on it. It sort of curls around, but that is an awesome trunk on it.
Yeah,
like for a Wisteria, that is just amazing. All the movement and the bark and everything.
Yeah,
that's a real.
So I took off some other big branches here, and you can see that this one's an older one. But it's healed over nice. So
yeah,
probably looking at something like that for the front.
Yeah,
and this will be a new side branch.
It just adds to the ruggedness, all those pruning marks and that. Yeah, it's really cool. That is amazing. That is a great tree.
So the Wisterias it's a compound leaf, so it has like this really long leaflet.
Yeah.
So when I prune these, I will first prune back to my bud or to wherever I want the new branch.
Yeah.
So I'll first do the macro pruning, and then when I go and I prune the leaf, and I'll cut back to the first pair of leaflets.
Okay, so it reduces the size of it, eh?
Yeah, so you can really prune these back quite severely, and this is probably on its third or fourth flush of the summer. So I wait till probably it gets about this vigorous, and then I'll cut it back.
Wow.
But now we're beginning August here, so we're coming close to the end of our short growing season in Canada.
Don't say it, Connor. It's not over yet.
So I've stopped. All of my deciduous kind of pruning is done.
Right,
so
you're slowing down.
Yeah, I'm leaving the rest of the leaves on to start transitioning that energy into the roots for winter protection.
Yeah, you got to build up the strength for fall, don't you?
Yeah,
winter.
Yeah.
Very nice. That is a cool addition.
Yeah, very excited about it. Shade back.
There's the kitty, sleeps underneath the wisteria. Hi, kitty.
This is a scrub pine. This is from Ray's, actually. So you guys are all familiar with Ray's place now.
Yeah.
This is not a native to this area, but native to New Jersey and lower East Coast kind of thing. And it's known, you can see here, for putting out really flaky bark in a relatively young tree.
Right.
I'm not sure how old this is, but Ray said he's had it sitting out in his field for quite some time.
Okay.
But yeah, I purchased it just for the crazy flaky bark.
Yeah.
It's really long and kind of sinuous. It's still really flexible in a lot of them.
Yeah.
So my plan is to just kind of pull this back onto over the front, and I'll make this a cascading weeping style, sort of and probably cut off and gin the top.
Literati style.
Yeah, like a very windsweepy. So
okay,
if I can get some flex in it.
Yeah, it's quite flexible, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's for some old bark. But this basically, this is going to be my bonsai, this piece.
Yeah.
So I did some pruning, basically on all the. I'm leaving everything grow because I have to deal with the roots first.
Yes.
But on the piece that I am going to want to keep, I've started the process. So I've candle pruned, and then you can see the new 2 candles coming out.
Nice.
And then there's some great little pieces, like this would be a great piece to keep and develop as a branch.
Right, because you get
it's short. Yeah, that may actually be my main
leader. A lot
of
little buds coming out. Isn't it?
So I haven't really played a lot with the scrub pine, but I'm excited to try.
That is cool. Yes.
So this is my conifer bench on this side. So this side of the backyard gets a lot of light. Yep. Then I have my tropical bench kind of in the back. That's more of the shaded area. And a lot of the tropicals like to come up. I just don't have a lot of space. Yeah. And then on the other side of the pool is like the deciduous, or it's kind of like a medium light area.
Yeah.
So the south north end is on the back here. And then I keep I winter everything in this kind of corner.
Yeah.
The north corner of my house. So in the winter it doesn't get any sun basically, and then that's kind of like an outside fridge. We can go see it. Actually. Yeah,
you built that last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't think we showed it in the last video, did we? Or?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think it's new.
So basically, this is a heated cold frame, and it's back up against my house to get all of the air or the hot air from the house, and it's there's underground cables that are heat traced. They're meant to keep pipes from freezing.
I see.
But I buried them in that sand layer, and basically I heat the root base instead of the air, so I don't have a dry air problem. And over the winter, it was a soft winter, but it only cost me $12 to heat this whole thing, because it's like over-engineered a lot.
Yeah,
There's
I
like
could see the-
6 inches of insulation, a sandwich between plywood boards, and then kind of just finished for waterproofing.
And do you ever open that window down there to let heat in, or?
Yeah, so that was the idea. So I thought if I ever got to like a really cold winter and like the in-ground heating just wasn't doing it, I could open that door to get like a blast of inside air.
Yeah.
But I've never actually had to. I didn't have to do that last winter.
No.
But like I said, we didn't get super cold
If
nights.
we got some really freaky cold winter, eh?
But the best part is this is a thermocouple, like a temperature sensor.
Okay.
And my girlfriend has hooked it up to
there, right?
hooked it up to the house AC system.
Okay.
So I get the live feedback into my thermostat.
Really?
So the same system that's keeping our house monitored is also monitoring this. So I just put this right on the surface of the ground, and then I can get the ground temperature, which basically will translate to the pot temperature.
Wow.
And I keep it between like 5 and 0 degrees Celsius.
I see. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That is high tech for bonsai, eh?
Yeah, it's really nice because I don't have to come outside in the dead of winter to check the temperature. I can see it right in my hallway.
And you've got a new sunshade up here today?
Yeah. So this isn't
this year?
Yeah, this is for the humans, not the trees.
But it makes your backyard a lot nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then this is all just from salvage pallets.
Cool.
So it's
That's the way to do it, Connor. That's the way to do it. We gotta save the earth.
Yeah, you guys make a lot of cool structures from used pallets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to do that, I think.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll go back to the conifer bench.
Okay.